Yeah.
Hey everybody, I'm Aaron Simmons. This is Philosophy for Where We Find Ourselves, March the 6th, 2023. Today I am out for a quick ride before meeting up with my dad, and we're going to do some trout fishing this afternoon. I'm currently on spring break, which is absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, it never lines up with my wife and son's spring break, so it's going to be a lot of outdoor activities by myself this week. Anyway, I want to talk today about something that occurred to me yesterday while out riding with my son and several other friends of mine who also have kids that are roughly Atticus's age. And so there was, 6 or 7 kids, all between the ages of 8 and, 14. And then, a bunch of the dads out there riding with them. And my son, who I am incredibly proud of, was at the back of the line of kid riders. And so he's, falling behind a little bit. He doesn't ride as much as they do. He does parkour and does skateboard and plays drums and tin whistle and all kinds of things that they don't do. But he hasn't developed, the quads and the lung capacity to be able to keep up with the kids that are riding for NICA and doing all kinds of competitive cross-country races and stuff. Anyway, we're in the back, and he says to me, "Dad, I just hate being all the way in the back. I hate being last." And I told him, "Atticus, I don't understand. You're doing excellent. You're doing great. You're, discovering all kinds of new trails. You're having fun with your friends." And he said, "No, Dad, you don't understand. I hate being last." And I tried to explain to him something that I think philosophy really does stress in a bunch of different ways. Competition and beating someone else is not the same thing as excellence. Being committed to excellence in an Aristotelian sense is to be doing the best that is possible for the kind of being you are. And of course, we can take this kind of being in a sort of pan-human sense, right? You're doing what it is that is at the upper limit of human capabilities. You're an elite athlete, you're an elite musician, whatever it might be. But we can also understand it more in the mundane sense of doing the best that is capable for where you currently are. And this is something, of course, that then can get us in trouble when we start comparing where we are with where others are. We don't know their experiences, their backgrounds, their situations, or their desires. It really makes a difference what it is we want to make the case in relation to what we're willing to do now in order to get there. So I was trying to explain this to Atticus as we're riding down the trail. And he, of course, yells at me and says, "Stop! You don't understand 13-year-olds. You're a philosopher." And I actually think that there's something powerful about what he said, which is that philosophy too often seems abstract. It seems detached, separated from the real grief and difficulty and struggle that defines the human condition. And yet I think philosophy can speak into that very space when it invites us to realize that something like competition, as good as it can be in all sorts of ways, is, as C.S. Lewis says somewhere, it's the philosophy of hell. It's what always makes you feel like you're not enough. Even if you win, even if you're the best at some particular activity, well, there's always another activity, another competition, another game, another match. David Foster Wallace talks about this when he says that when we worship things that are forcing us into comparison with others, it's something that inevitably is going to eat us alive, right? When we worship beauty, we're never pretty enough. When we worship intelligence, we're never smart enough. When we worship money, we're never rich enough. So part of what philosophy invites us to realize is that worship is about being properly oriented toward excellence relative to our circumstances. What is it that you're doing today? Is it something that is unfortunately frustrated by the comparison, by the competition with others, feeling not good enough? Or is it something grounded in the humility that admits others may be better, but excellence is still possible? Excellence is not necessarily a comparative except in relation to where you used to be. So today, Let's think about Aristotle a little bit. Let's encourage our children, encourage each other toward excellence instead of competition. Hope this is a helpful little philosophical thought. It's something that's been on my mind this morning while out riding. I hope I encouraged my son in the right way. I will continue to try to do that ever more effectively. I hope you'll do the same. Take care. I'll see you next time unless a piano falls on our heads.
Yeah.